We are reading from the Bhagavad-Gita as it is, 9th chapter, text number 17, right? Okay. 9:17. Pitaham asya jagato Mata Datta pitamaha Vedyam pavitram omkara Riksama yajurevacha Pitam, Father, Aham, I, Asya, of this, Jagata, universe, Mata, mother, Dhata, supporter, Pitamaha, grandfather, Vedyam, what is to be known, Pavitram, that which purifies, Omkara, the syllable Om, Rig, the Rig Veda, Sama, the Sama Veda, Yaju, the Yajur Veda, Eva, certainly, Cha, and. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier and the syllable Om. I am also the Rig, the Sama and the Yajur Vedas. Purport. The entire cosmic manifestation, moving and non-moving, are manifested by different activities of Krishna's energy. In a material existence, we create different relationships with different living entities who are nothing but Krishna's marginal energy. Under the creation of Prakriti, some of them appear as our mother, our father, grandfather, creator, etc. But actually they are parts and parcels of Krishna. As such, these living entities who appear to be our father, mother, etc. are nothing but Krishna. In this verse, the word Datta means creator. Not only are our father and mother parts and parcels of Krishna, but the creator, grandmother and grandfather, etc. are also Krishna. Actually, any living entity being part and parcel of Krishna is Krishna. All the Vedas therefore aim only toward Krishna. Whatever we want to know through the Vedas is but a progressive step toward understanding Krishna. That subject matter which helps us purify our constitutional position is especially Krishna. Similarly, the living entity who is inquisitive to understand all Vedic principles is also part and parcel of Krishna, and as such is also Krishna. In all the Vedic mantras, the word Om, called Pranav, is a transcendental sound vibration, is also Krishna. And because in all the hymns of the four Vedas, Sama, Yajo, Rig and Atharva, the Pranava Omkam is prominent, is very prominent, it is understood to be Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Everything is Krishna. Yeah, we have to explain, yeah. Yeah. Oma Jnanatimidam tasya jnananjana salakaya chaksoran militam yanam tasmai Sri Gurave namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantigam Bandeham Sri Guru Sri Yudhavadagamanam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagarjatam Sahagana Raganatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastude Tatta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshari Prishabhano Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Paritanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare Pitahamasa Jagado Mata Data Pitamaha Vedyam Pavitam Omkara Riksamaya Jorevacha. I am the father of this universe, the mother, the support, and the grandsire. I am the object of knowledge, the purifier, and the syllable Om. I am also the Rig, the Sama, and the Yajur Vedas. So this chapter is entitled The Most Confidential Knowledge. So Krishna is explaining to Arjuna, his dear friend, that ultimately everything is coming from him, and that everything is situated in him, and that he's all pervading by his different energies. And Srila Prabhupada in the purport is stressing very much the point that everything is Krishna. Of course, also we have to understand it very clearly what Prabhupada is wanting to say. What the previous acharyas have said, what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had told. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is non different from Radha and Krishna. He is non different from Radha and Krishna. He is Krishna, but with the luster and the mood of Srimati Radharani. Anta Krishna Bahir Gaura. So Mahaprabhu and Krishna, they are simultaneously non-different, and they are different also. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, he came to give this philosophy, the highest understanding. Achinta Beda Beda Tattva. It is inconceivably one and different. So Mahaprabhu is not different from Radha and Krishna. At the same time, they are different. And we can see there is Gaura Dham and Krishna Dham, or Gaura Dham and Braj Dham. The place where Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is eternally residing in the spiritual realm. In Krishna Loka is divided in 4. Dwarpapuri, Mathurapuri, Brajdham or Gologadham, and then Shetadip Navadvip, where Mahaprabhu is residing. So simultaneously they all one, Krishna Loka. But then there's a difference also. Dwarkadish is not different from Krishna, but is different from Krishna also. So Gaurdham and Brajdham, they are not different, but there is difference also. And Mahaprabhu is living in Gaurdham, in Chaitadip Navadip, and Krishna is living in Brajdham, in Golok, Vrindavan. And they are performing their pastimes with their associates. So materially speaking, with material intelligence, it is not possible to understand this. It is impossible. Only if one is engaged in spiritual activities under the guidance of an advanced devotee, a pure devotee, one can slowly but surely understand this transcendental subject matter. And that everything is coming from Krishna. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata savam pavatate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. Everything is coming from me, the spiritual and the material worlds. And therefore the buddhiman vyakti, the intelligent person, is worshipping me. So those who can clearly understand how then the spiritual world is there and it is coming from Krishna, so therefore it is not different from Krishna. But there is a difference. The material world has come from Krishna, so it is also not different from Krishna. But then it is a difference also. And Krishna comes in this material world, but at the same time he is not under the molds of material nature, he is different also. So only if one is engaged in devotional activities, bhakti-yamama vijanati yavanyasya tattvataha, and then one can understand Krishna. One can enter into the mysteries of this of the spiritual world, of the material world, of Krishna's creation, Krishna's wonderful activities. And janma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tattvaha tattvataha tyaktva dhyam puna janma naiti mamiti swajunaha. And one who knows about Krishna's divya, transcendental birth, his activities, in truth, totally, completely, then he will not have to take birth again in this material world. So everything is not different from Krishna, but it is different. So Prabhupada is trying to make this point here in a purport. So that is achinta veda veda tattva, that everything is not different, but at the same time it is different from Krishna. So here, of course, Prabhupada is stressing on the point that everything is not different from Krishna. Therefore he is saying that the living entities are Krishna. The four Vedas, they are Krishna. Omkar is Krishna. So everything is Krishna, which is true. But then there is a difference also. Mamavam sujiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manasastra indrayani prakriti stani karshiti. In the 15th chapter is explaining all the living entities, they are part and parcels. But they are struggling in this material world, the conditioned souls. Whereas Krishna is never struggling, he is always transcendental, and he is Vibhu, he is great. Whereas the living entities, the jivas, they are infinitesimal. One of the energies of the Lord. So there are so many energies of the Lord. So the internal energy is there, Sarup Shakti, and that is divided in three also. Sandhini Shakti, the existence potency, and the presiding deity of that is Balaram. But that Krishna is also the source of everything, Satchidananda Vigraha. At the same time, the Sandhini Shakti, so the existence potency, that is considered to be Balaram. And then Krishna himself, so Satchit is the Chit potency, the knowledge potency. And then the Hladini Shakti, the pleasure potency, the embodiment of that is Srimati Radharani. So they are also not different from Krishna, but they are different also. And so Radha Krishna, they are one, that they perform pastimes. They become two to perform pastimes. So the absolute truth is one. But then there is also variety. In the oneness there is variety. And all the acharyas have explained. Just they gave a little different understanding, but basically it's the same understanding that everything is not different from Krishna and different. Like Madhvacharya, he has given Dvaita Dvaitvad or Shuddha Dvaitvad. So that is duality in the material world. Day and night, heat and cold, happiness and distress. That is there in the material world. And then the Mayavadis, they were saying Kevala Dvait. Everything is non-dual in the spiritual realm. Everything is one. So that is there is a oneness is there, but at the same time there's difference. So Madhvacharya has explained Dvaitvad is there. There's a difference is there also, and there's a variety in the spiritual world. Everything is one, but then there's transcendental duality in the spiritual world. And there's also transcendental happiness, there's transcendental distress, and even there, the different seasons are there, but are constantly present, the sixth season. And it is not too hot and not too cold. And there is a day and night, but that is permanently the sun and moon are there. So there's transcendental variety there. That is the internal potency of the Lord, which is making that possible. And then Ramanujacharya is explaining the Vishisht Advait, specified monism. The absolute truth is non-dual. It is beyond the material world of duality. Birth and death is there. There's no birth and there's no death in the spiritual world. Everything is eternal. And there's no material happiness and distress. There's always transcendental happiness which is pervading. But at the same time, so in this transcendental happiness there are some emotions also. Transcendental emotions. But the underlying principle is the transcendental happiness, the love of Godhead. But then the emotions are there, and transcendental emotions coming from the soul, from the jiva. So then there is a transcendental happiness and distress may be there. That is augmenting the transcendental bliss, which is ever increasing, which is eternally there. So that is specified monism. So this, and then there is Nibarkacharya, he has explained Nibarkacharya, and then Vishnu Swami has explained Shuddha Dvait. So pure monism is there. So basically the same point is there, and Nibarka is Dvaita Dvait. There's duality, and then there's also non-duality is there in the spiritual realm. But the perfect, everything is included in, of course, and the highest understanding is given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and in complete form, and so that is a Chinta Beda Beda Tattva. Simultaneously it is one and different. The transcendental realm and then the material realm, and it is not different from Krishna, and it is different from Krishna also. So that we have to understand clearly. And then so we can see that the Krishna so is the source of everything, and also in this material world, Pitamaha, I am the father of this universe. Of course, then there is Lord Brahma is also considered the father or the grandfather of all the living entities, because he is the first created being in this material world. But ultimately the source of him is also as Jiva, that is Krishna. And because all the living entities are part and parcels of Krishna, therefore he is known as the father of everyone. And so, but then Lord Brahma, so he is there in the material world, and through him the different material bodies are supplied, and then the jivas are entering different bodies, and then they also, when in this material world, they are becoming fathers and mothers and even grandfathers, great-grandfathers in this material world. But by nature they are all servants of Krishna. They all belong to Krishna. So Krishna is the ultimate father of everyone. And everyone is servant of Krishna or son of Krishna, all the living entities. And then the mother in the sense that the child needs to get some nourishment. The mother is giving milk to the child. The mother's milk is essential in the beginning. Although the best of all milk is the cow's milk. But in the beginning, it is recommended that the child will get the mother's milk for the first half year or even 1 year, sometimes even longer. And then afterwards, then cow's milk should be given to the child. So the mother is nourishing the child in the beginning, and the child will not take anything else practically. Some water and maybe some smashed bananas or some grated apples and some very light things. But actually by the mother's milk the child is growing the first 6 months at least, or even longer than. And then of course after the 5th month for the girls, the 6th month, Annaprashanam ceremony is performed, giving the first grains to the child. So the child is slowly taking some grains, but then also very little bit only, and it is usually some kind of porridge may be given, or some khichdi, some dal, and slowly but surely the child will get nourishment from that also. But still at the same time the mother's milk is there. Only after that, after the first year or a little longer, then slowly the cow's milk is also given to the child, which is very important for the child. So therefore the cow is also considered to be the mother, because she's giving milk. But ultimately everything is coming from Krishna. So for example the mother, so she's giving milk, it's coming from, how it is coming? Only when the woman becomes pregnant. And then after, but even at that time there's no milk coming. Only when the child is coming out, that the child is born, then the milk is coming. So ultimately by Krishna's arrangement, the milk through the material energy, through his energy, the external energy, which is such a wonderful creation, unbelievable. And then so that the milk is coming by, and of the mother is coming by Krishna's mercy ultimately. And the cow's milk also, and the cow is eating grass, and then is supplying milk by the Lord's arrangement. So all the ingredients are there by Krishna's arrangement. Prakriti, the external energy. First it is unmanifest, then it is known as pradhan. Only sometimes the material world is manifested. And then it is known as the Prakriti or Mahatattva, and then the different elements are there, Bhumi, Rapo, Nalo, Vayu, and so on. So this is the external energy, which is also ultimately coming from Krishna. Krishna has explained. This is the superior energy, and the material energy, and then of course the living entity Jiva is there as part and parcel of Krishna. So therefore, Krishna is also seen as the mother, and because nourishing the child. Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Pranadan. For the devotee, Krishna is the father, Krishna is the mother, Krishna is the Lord of their life. Krishna is everything for the devotee. That is the true conception, understanding for the devotee. The support, the grandchild. So Krishna is the support for the living entities. Of course, Mother Earth is there also. Also we say Mother Earth because supplying so many ingredients by which we can live. So from the earth then we get the grains, we get the vegetables, but that is only by the mercy of the Lord, by his wonderful arrangement of the external energy. And so then the support, we can walk on the earth, but ultimately it is all by Krishna's mercy. And therefore it is said that not even a blade of grass can move without the sanction of the Lord. And we can breathe by the mercy of the Lord. We can blink the eyes by the mercy of the Lord. Without the Lord's mercy, we can do nothing. We cannot do anything. And then, so in this world, so of course, usually only the human beings, they can understand the significance of this material world. And they have sufficient intelligence by which they can understand that they have to try to serve the Supreme Lord, that they have to try to serve Krishna. They have to try to become free from the material conception, from the three modes of material nature. So the knowledge is given by the Lord Himself. First of all, He gave to Lord Brahma the knowledge. And then through His various manifestations to different sages. So knowledge is given ultimately by Krishna also. And who is to be known by the knowledge? That is also Krishna. Vedyam. I am the object of knowledge. As also in the 15th chapter is saying, Sarvasya chamari disanavisto mata smiti jnanam aparam cha vedaisya sarvera me vedyo ved. Vedaisya sarvera me vedyo vedanta krit veda vit eva chaham. So I am situated in everyone's heart, and for me come knowledge, remembrance and forgetfulness. And I'm to be known by the Vedas, by studying the Vedas, and the end of knowledge, Vedanta. So Krishna is everything, and from Him everything is coming. And He's a purifier. So the syllable Om. So Omkar, not different from Krishna. Of course, different persons, they may have different understanding. They will say the absolute truth, the impersonal aspect of the absolute truth, which is the highest. The Brahma Jyoti, that is the Omkar, non different from the absolute truth. But that is impersonal conception, which is not the complete understanding. But even the Omkar, the Pranav, the Brahma Jyoti, is not different from Krishna. It is Krishna's effulgence. Krishna and Krishna's effulgence are non-different. But there is a difference also. Krishna's form is there, and then the effulgence, there is not really any form, it is just some light. But it is coming from Krishna, from the person Krishna. And so also Om, that is coming from Krishna also. And the Maha Mantra also, the Gayatri mantras, everything is coming from Krishna. And so it is not different from Krishna. Akarunochate Krishna sarvalokaika nayakaha ukarunochate radha maka jiva vachakaha. Rupa Goswami has compiled this verse. In the Om, Uma becomes Om. So refers to Krishna, the only hero in this world. In the spiritual world and in the material world, the only hero is Krishna. Of course, in Vaikuntha, the different lords are there of Vaikuntha, Vishnu, Narayan, Ram, and they are the lords. But nobody is like Krishna. His wonderful qualities are there, his wonderful pastimes, most wonderful in Braj. So therefore, he is the only hero. All others, they are performing their pastimes also, but there is some Aishwarya is there, some opulence is there. He is the Lord and everything is formal. One has to respect the Lord. And so there is love there, but something is, well, it is perfect and complete. But Krishna's Golok is more perfect and more complete. And in Vaikuntha, so although love is there, love of Godhead, loving exchange is there, and so much opulence is there, such a wonderful place, there's no birth and death, no old age, no disease, wonderful. And but still, almost you can say like something is missing. Ras, some kind of mellow, which is the sweetness which is there in Braj. Therefore even there's a story of one devotee, Gop Kumar, that is explained by Sanatana Goswami in Brihad Bhagavad-Amrita. So he was on the way to become perfect, but as he was understanding more and more by chanting the mantra, Gopal mantra, which he has received from his guru. By faithfully chanting, he was realizing more and more, slowly but surely. And by the dint of his chanting the Gopal mantra, he went to Vaikuntha. But because by nature, he's a gop, he's belonging to Golok, so as he was becoming more and more pure and therefore he could go to Vaikuntha, he wanted to embrace Vishnu. And then he was going towards Vishnu and wanted to embrace him, and then the servants of Vishnu, the Vishnu Dutas, so they told him, no, what are you doing? You cannot come close to Vishnu. No, he's the Lord and we are the servants. You have to go with folded hands, we need some awe and reverence. And he was thinking, well, it's very strange and I don't really like it here. It's okay, I mean, it's nice, he could appreciate, and there was love there, that he treated him very nicely. But he was feeling some lacking, and the taste which he was experiencing was not complete, because he wanted to have this intimate relationship with the Lord, and like a friend, which he could not have. But then Vishnu told him, because he understood, and he understood that, of course, Vishnu is also the Lord. He understood that he belongs to Golok, and he told him, you just wait and you will slowly but surely you will be elevated to your destination. And then he went to, later on, Ayodhya also, but then eventually he came to Golok. And there when he went to Golok, then he saw Krishna. And Krishna was there. And he told him, oh my dear friend, I was waiting for you since such a long time, come here. And then he was embracing Gop Kumar. And so then Krishna was very happy, and Gop Kumar, he was so happy. He was embracing Krishna, the Supreme Lord. And then there's no understanding that Krishna is God. He's just my best friend, my most beloved. And so this is the highest form of transcendental bliss, so which he could experience there. So therefore Krishna is the only hero, and his pastimes are so wonderful. Even in Vaikuntha some kind of pastimes are there, but it's a kind of, the action which is there is everything is very formal. So whereas in Braj so many wonderful pastimes are there, and it is so intimate, and so much pleasure is there, and so much variety is there. So therefore Krishna is known as the only hero, and everyone else is just ultimately helping Krishna in his wonderful pastimes. But so these are different aspects of the Absolute Truth, Narayan, Vishnu, in the Vaikuntha planets, and so this way some relishment is there, which is a little different than in Braj. So it is not different from the highest realm, but there's a difference also there. So Vishnu is not different from Krishna, but also there's a difference there. And all the associates of Krishna in Braj, so they have this wonderful loving exchange, and they're all like equals with Krishna practically. The friends, they're climbing on Krishna's shoulders, and they're playing with Krishna, fighting with Krishna. Transcendental wrestling is there, almost just like on the same level as Krishna. Sometimes a friend is saying, so Krishna, you think you're so strong, you think you're strongest, you try to defeat me. And then they're playing, and in wrestling sometimes they win also, and the transcendental loving exchange. So it is most wonderful. And then many times the associates, they are imitating Krishna also, and how Krishna is acting, because they are completely absorbed in Krishna, in remembering Krishna. And so in this way they are almost like Krishna, but still they are not Krishna. There is a difference there. And the spiritual master, Sakshat Dharitvena Samasta Sastraya, is considered just like Hari. Sakshat Dharitvena is directly Hari. But at the same time there is a difference. Is also the Lord, is also, even the spiritual master can be addressed as Bhagavan. Even you can see the Bhagavatam. Bhagwan Shukadev, Bhagwan Shiv, Bhagwan Brigu, Bhagwan Indra. They are addressed as Bhagavan, as the Lord, full of all opulences. But not because they are the Lord, actually, they are not Vishnu Tattva. They belong to the Jiva Tattva, or Shiva is the Shiv Tattva. So that is also again not different from the Lord, but there is a difference there also. Krishna is unlimited, and the others, they are limited. Although they have also so much opulence, and they may also expand. The perfected beings, they may expand also by the Lord's inconceivable potency, but there's a difference between them and Krishna. And they also can become heroes they can be glorified like Arjuna, who is fully surrendered to Krishna. He became a hero during the war between the Kauravas and the Pandavas. But ultimately he was an instrument in Krishna's hands. But he got all the glory by Krishna's mercy. And he was a chariot. Krishna became the chariot driver for Arjuna, taking the humble position. But still he is the Lord, always. And that doesn't diminish his position. So wonderful pastimes are there of Krishna in the spiritual world and even in this material world. So therefore he is considered as the only hero. And so karuchate, Krishna sarvakaikanaika, karuchate Radha. Refers to Ujeshwari Srimati Radharani, the potency of the Lord, the energy of the Lord, the pleasure potency. Who is giving the highest pleasure to Krishna. And by Radharani's mercy, when we are surrendered on the transcendental plane, then we can give pleasure to Krishna also. Because of the pleasure potency, because of Srimati Radharani, we can give pleasure to Krishna. Therefore we take shelter of Srimati Radharani so that we can please Krishna. Without Radharani's mercy, we cannot please Krishna. So Krishna is the object of the love of all the jivas, Vishaya Vigraha. But we have to take shelter of the ashray, the abode of love, Ashray Vigraha, the embodiment of the abode of love, that is Srimati Radharani, of the highest form of love, Mahabhav, Sarupini, Srimati Radharani. She is the embodiment of the highest love of Godhead. So we take shelter of Srimati Radharani. And Makar in the Om, Ma refers to the Jiva, the living entity. And so basically there are two living entities according to Krishna in the Bhagavad-Gita in the 15th chapter, Kshara Akshara. Those who are fallible and those who are infallible. And the Nitya Siddha and the Nitya Bada. Those who are eternally perfected, who are always serving Krishna, will never fall down. And those who are conditioned since time immemorial, but they are also eternal servants of Krishna. But by Krishna's will, so they are conditioned since time immemorial. Anadi Bada, Nitya Bada. So but in this material world, by Krishna's will, they come here, the Nitya Bada, and they have a chance to become established in their situation as eternal servants of Krishna. Jivera Swapoy Krishnera Nityadas. Everyone is eternal servant of Krishna. And then by serving Krishna, becoming perfect, and engaging in the transcendental loving service of Krishna, when one becomes liberated completely from the three modes of material nature, and one is engaged in transcendental loving service, in loving exchange with Krishna, then one is ever liberated and one will never come back again in the conditioned state. So Krishna's creation, the spiritual creation, the material creation, everything is wonderful. And everything is not different from Krishna, and it is different also. So nothing is outside of Krishna. So even the material world is part of Krishna, it's part of the Brahma Jyoti. And sometimes it is manifested and sometimes not. So, but when the material world is created, it is in Krishna also, it is included in Krishna, but it is different also. And Krishna is coming in this world, but it's different also. It's not affected by the modes of material nature. So that is inconceivable. And only by engaging in devotional service can we understand this? By the mercy of Krishna, or by the mercy of the representative of Krishna, the spiritual master, we can come to understand about the wonderful nature of Krishna. So by chanting Om, the Omkar, then we can become purified. And actually every Vedic mantra, therefore the 4 Vedas are mentioned also, 3 of them, Rig, Yaja, Samur Veda. First there was 1 Veda, but then it was divided in 4 by Vyasadeva. Veda is no different from Krishna, the knowledge, and that is unlimited. But then a certain, just like Krishna is unlimited, but at the same time he is appearing in a human-like form, but is completely transcendental, and is unlimited, but still he is also in limited form. Krishna, as we know, when he was here 5,000 years ago, and is there in the spiritual world. Gop, as a transcendental cowherd boy, and then and actually the jivas, or the embodied beings also, they are in the image of God, of Krishna. So, and but everything is included in Krishna. But then is in this human life, in this form, is transcendental form as a cowherd boy, transcendental cowherd boy. Dvija Shiromani, Gopal. So, and that form is completely transcendental. And so the intelligent persons, by his mercy, they will understand, and they will surrender to him. So, and then also, so the Omkar is no different from Krishna, and the Maha Mantra, the Gayatri mantras, they are no different from Krishna. And by chanting Om, and so by chanting Maha Mantra, then one becomes purified. So the Veda, that is knowledge, that is no different from Krishna. The Bhagavatam is no different from Krishna. That is described also. The first canto is referring to his lotus feet. The 10th canto is considered to be his beautiful face. The 11th is the top, is the lalat, the forehead. The 12th is the top of the head. So in this way the Bhagavatam is no different from Krishna also. The Bhagavad-Gita is no different from Krishna, because it is spoken by Krishna to Arjuna basically. And Krishna's words are not different. Krishna's name are not different. So those who engage in devotional activities, they can realize. And then by chanting the holy names, so they will get purified. And so the 4 Vedas, they are no different from Krishna. And in all the Vedas, all the mantras, before all the mantras, the Omkar is there. They will say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Narayanaya Namaha, Om Tad Vishnu Paramambaram Sada Pashnati Suryaha, or Purusha Sukta Om Sahasra Shesha Purushaha Sahasraksha Sahasrabha Bhumim Vishwado Vritva Attatishta Dashangulam. So all the mantras are preceded by Om, all the Vedic mantras. Even the Maha Mantra is mentioned there. And when we do yagyas, even in deity worship, we chant the Maha Mantra also, but we always say Om. Om Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Om is the seed. So Krishna is the source of everything. And then everything comes from Krishna. So when you have a seed, you have a mango seed. From the mango seed comes a mango tree. And from from Om, the different mantras are coming. And even there's another seed, bij, that is, for example, cling. When you chant the Gayatri, so one Gayatri starting with Om, the Brahma Gayatri, but most of the other Gayatris referring to Krishna, Mahaprabhu are starting with cling. That also refers, cling is the bij also, and then the mantra is coming. And that is also non different from Krishna. The seed is non different, and the mantra is also non different. So, and by being and also it is explained here, even devotional service, that is also Krishna. By engaging in devotional service, Krishna seva, then one becomes purified. So it is the Bhagavan, the Lord, there is the Bhakta, the devotee, and then there is Bhakti, devotional service. So they are all transcendental, in this way non-different, but then there is a difference also between the Lord, devotional service, and the devotee. But they are all transcendental in this way, they are all non-different. But then there is variety also, transcendental variety. The jiva is also Satchidananda Swarup, eternal, full of bliss and knowledge, just like Krishna. Therefore they are just like Krishna, but they are different also from Krishna. Krishna is Vibhu, is great, and the living entities are Anu, always. So there's always, they are not different, and there's a difference also. The quality is the same, but the quantity is different. So everything is very clear, right? Krishna is wonderful. Everything is coming from Krishna. We belong to Krishna. We are Krishna. We are not different from Krishna. And we are different from Krishna. And we engage in devotional service, and we just say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The Maha Mantra is not different from Krishna, not different from Radha and Krishna, not different from Mahaprabhu, emanated from the lotus fives of Mahaprabhu. So we just have to engage in devotional service, and then slowly but surely then we can understand everything. Hare Krishna. And also we have wonderful Krishna Prasadam, which is not different from Krishna, and by eating Prasadam we can understand very easily everything. Hare Krishna. I think no need of questions, everything is clear. If there's any question, you just chant Hare Krishna, then everything is very clear. Hare Krishna.